Welcome back to another episode of Where I Long to Be, a magical trip report podcast. My name is Virginia, and I am your host. Before I get started today, I want to give a huge shout out to my friends who are participating in the Run Disney races this past weekend, including Jeanette and Marin, true Run Disney veterans, and for the first time ever in a Run Disney race, Miranda and Corey from Bippity Boppity Benfields. Congratulations all around, friends. If you have never run a Run Disney race, it's a lot of fun, but it also involves getting up at the crack of dawn. And I'm not talking about the rope drop crack of dawn. I mean like out the door at 3 a.m. sort of crack of dawn. So everyone deserves a medal just for getting up that early. And then on top of that, running a 5K or whatever distance you chose to do. Today is the Monday of Halloween week, so I know everyone must be getting pumped about that because it is on Friday this year, which is always exciting when that aligns. I will be pulling out my Disney Halloween onesie to walk around the neighborhood and to look at people's costumes. I am not sure yet whether Alex will be hanging out with friends here or heading to a party, but he has decided to be Max from the Goofy movie, which I think is pretty cool. If I can convince him to let me take a picture, I will post it on my stories. He's a teenager, though, so that really could go either way. We will see. Okay, enough chit chat. On today's episode, we have Renee back, who is Magical Travels by Monty on Instagram. She is here to share all the fun she had on her recent trip to Walt Disney World. She was traveling September 24th through 30th with her son, Oakie, who is 15 months old, and her mom, Michelle. They were driving down to Orlando, but doing it via the auto train, which leaves from Lorton, Virginia, and drops right off in Sanford, Florida, which is down the road from Orlando. They were going to be staying at Pop Century Resort for the first time since the Skyliner was installed, so it has been a while for Renee and her mom, Michelle. And of course, this is Okie's first time because he's just a baby. But they were very excited to be trying that out. They were lucky enough to have tickets both to an after-hours party at Epcot and also to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, in addition to some regular park days. That should have all of you caught up. So, without further ado, here's Renee. Welcome back, Renee.
Hey, Virginia. It's so good to be here on the pod. Kind of sad to be back from Disney, but nice to be chatting with you.
Yes. You've been back for like 12 days now.
Yeah, going on 2 weeks now. Yeah.
All right. How have you adjusted, especially considering that the weather has been kind of bad and it's about to get really bad because we have a nor'easter coming?
The weather is not helping. Definitely in the thick of the Disney blues, but I do have my next trip on the books. So that helps to have something to look forward to.
That does always help. And also reliving your trip through the podcast. I waited a full month before Alex and I recorded our post trip. And
I know. I just listened to that. That was fantastic.
It really, thank you. It really did help to sit down and talk about it because, right when you come back, you have things to do. You have to get into life again. And it was right about the time when I was starting to feel like, oh, gosh, it's been so long. And I say that as, a person who recognizes that I am just being dramatic and that many people only get to go once in their lifetime, if ever, and certainly not to where like a month later they'd be like, I need to go again.
Yeah, so true. But I feel that. I get that completely. Yes. And I'm so happy to be reliving it with you because this was really such a great trip. I think every trip is my favorite trip, but this one we did so many new things and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Isn't that great that you can go as many times as you do and that every time you're like, no, that one was the best.
Yes. And that is such the appeal of Disney and getting to do, they're like snowflakes. Every trip is so different. You could intend to replicate a trip that you already did and it's still going to be very different. Whether you schedule new experiences or not, you're never going to have the same trip twice.
Yeah. And I would encourage people not to try to replicate a trip because it will never be exactly the same. And you will only set yourself up for, I'm going to use air quotes, failure. I mean, you still might have a good time, but if you're trying to replicate something, it's going to be nearly impossible.
Yes, nearly impossible. Exactly.
Let go, have fun. I was gonna say, I see that you have some Haunted Mansion stuff in your background. It looks
I
like you've decorated
do.
for Halloween.
Yeah, that's my Halloween decor, Disney
I
themed,
love
of
it.
course.
I love it. I
Thank you.
am behind on things. I normally go down to our storage unit and bring up the fall things, and I haven't even done that yet. So I need to get on that so that I can enjoy my fall decor, which is mostly like
Yes.
fall, not Halloween. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's good through Thanksgiving. But I do keep my Disney Halloween onesie in my fall decor box, and
Amazing.
it's something that I traditionally will wear out on Halloween day to walk around and look at trick-or-treaters in my neighborhood. So I'm like, it's cozy, it's Halloween themed, and
Yes. A bit of
yeah.
Disney magic. Love it.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
exactly. All right, let's get into this trip. So, the first thing I have to ask you as a
Hmm.
follow-up is how was the Amtrak auto train?
The auto train was awesome. I would totally recommend it. Obviously, it's not right for everyone. You need to budget a little bit more time to travel to
Mhm.
get there and back. But it was really very relaxing.
Mhm.
It was, the cabin was nice and cozy. The food was really good.
Mhm.
You have a cabin attendant that can answer any questions for you, and they help transition the room from the daytime configuration to the nighttime where there's the beds.
Mhm.
Everybody's super helpful. There's a lot of Southern hospitality. You
Mhm.
can chat with other people as much as you want, or you can just hang out in your room if you're, just looking for some quiet time. It was really a very enjoyable experience. And I have
Hmm.
it booked again for my next trip because I enjoyed it
Oh,
so
wow.
much. Yeah, and it's such a luxury to bring your own vehicle. You can
Mhm.
just pack whatever you want. There's really minimal restrictions on how much stuff you
Yeah.
can bring. And then when you have your car, when you're there, you can go grocery shopping or,
Mhm.
to the character warehouse like we did and stuff like
Mhm.
that. It's really great.
Yeah, and I'm imagining that, because you have your car, like, you didn't even have to worry about your stroller or anything like that. It could
No,
just stay
yep.
in the
I brought
car.
the stroller. I even brought our big wagon, which I didn't intend to bring into the parks, but I wanted to use it in place of a luggage cart to bring our
Mhm.
stuff to and from the room.
Oh,
So that
that's
worked out.
smart.
Like, that was totally an excessive thing to bring, but
Uh-huh.
it really made the trip smooth. And, it's a lot easier when you have all of the things that you need.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How did you fare with Oakie in the cabin in terms of sleeping arrangements?
That was fine. There's a bunk bed arrangement, and Oki and we actually shared the top bunk.
Oh,
There's
he was
like,
a top bunker.
yeah, he's a
Okay.
top bunk guy. I had him sleep on the inside towards the wall, so I
Mhm.
was on the outside edge. And then there's a net that you can clip up to
Mhm.
for safety. It's
Yeah.
definitely, I mean, it's not like a foolproof thing, but
Right.
there is some precautions in place. Yeah.
Right. Something that if you started to roll a little too far that you would feel maybe and wake
Yes.
wake yourself up.
Yes,
And
definitely.
and probably plenty sufficient for a small child. Like there are plenty of
Oh, yeah.
5-year-olds who want to be on the top bunk and
Oh,
a net
yes.
might stop them.
Yes, 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 definitely, definitely. But we met a lot of, older couples they travel down to Florida seasonally,
Mhm.
and we asked them what their sleeping arrangement was, and some of them were doing top bunk, bottom bunk, but some people were just sharing the bottom bunk. So it
Oh,
was
wow.
interesting to kind of chat about the unique sleeping situation with other people too.
How was the food on the train?
The food was really, really good. I was actually amazed at the quality of the food. I don't know how they cooked all the different dishes that are on the menu, but I ordered the steak, and I was a little bit nervous about steak on
Wow.
a train, but it was good.
It's better than snakes on a plane, right?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. And there was a kids menu too. So Oki got macaroni and cheese, and the macaroni and cheese was really good. Obviously, he couldn't eat the whole thing because he's
Mhm.
just a little guy. So I was finishing that off for him. It was really good.
Mhm.
And it's cute. The tables are set with Amtrak, like the cutlery and the plates and
Mhm.
everything have the Amtrak logo on it. And
Mhm.
there's a tablecloth and a little vase with roses. It's like a very elegant experience in the dining
Wow.
car. Yeah. And dessert too. We had ice
Yeah.
cream and cake. Yeah. It was great.
Yeah. I've been wanting to try it because it's not too bad a drive down from New York to where you hop on the train in
Mm-hmm.
Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the time element that you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That is key. Yeah. You have to be able to dedicate an extra day on the front and back end of your trip to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What time did you get off the train on Thursday, September 25th?
So the train actually got into the station a little bit early. We arrived before the Amtrak workers were scheduled to show up to work. So we weren't supposed to get there until 9, but we actually got in around 8. And the
Hmm.
workers show up at 8 and they have their morning briefing meeting. So then they were getting us off the train around 8:30. And
Okay.
you can pay a little bit extra to have priority onboarding and offloading,
Hmm.
to get your car off in the first like wave or batch of cars that gets unloaded. Because
Hmm.
I had been watching some YouTube travel vlogs, and some people were saying that the worst part of the train was waiting at the station for them to unload your car. And I
Yeah.
figured, not knowing how, how well we would have slept or whatever, and I didn't want to have to wait with a 15-month-old trying to
Hmm.
entertain him while, we could have waited like an hour or more for our car to get unloaded. So the priority
Hmm.
unloading, I don't know how valuable it was this time of year because the train was not at capacity, but our car was offloaded in the first 20 cars, and that was like maybe 15 minutes after we got ourselves off the train. So
Hmm.
that was really efficient. We just had time to kind of gather ourselves, and
Hmm.
the car was there, and you just get right in, and they have the air blasting and everything. Like, they really think of everything there. So that was great. So we were probably in the car a little after 8:30, and we really needed some coffee. The one complaint about the food on the train was that the coffee in the morning was really
Hmm.
not not sufficient.
Hmm.
So we mapped ourselves to a Dutch Bros coffee, which I
Which
had been seeing some
I
of
have
our
never
Florida
tried it
friends.
before, but
Yeah, it
I
was
hear
really
such
good.
good things.
It was really, really tasty. So we just hit the drive through there, and then we headed straight to the Character Warehouse. And we were in line at Character Warehouse a little bit before 11 o'clock. So it was a fast morning.
Did you score anything good at the Character Warehouse?
We got a couple things. I got a shirt, and Oakie got a stuffed animal. They had a lot of stuffies there, but we got him a lion from the Scar
Hmm.
movie line. I'm not even sure which line it is, but we've been calling it Simba.
Oh,
So
okay.
that was our score, and that was sat on his bed and was his little buddy watching cartoons in the morning and stuff. So I think that was
Aw.
a pretty good score at the Character Warehouse. Yeah.
Did you go anywhere else while you were there, or you were just into the Character Warehouse and then back out?
Nope, just at the mall. We just did Character Warehouse, and then after that, we stopped at a Publix for some groceries.
Okay. All right. Yeah, usually when I go to those outlets, I'm like, I am here on a mission. I'm going in and that's all I'm doing.
Yes,
Because
that's
it's all
right.
about the time. It's all about what you're spending your time doing. And I'm like,
Yes.
I could go to outlets anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Character Warehouse is the only unique one.
Absolutely. Yep. We were just there for the deals. And there was a bit of a line, so we had to
Hmm.
wait a little bit to get in. But I really appreciate that they have a capacity limit when you're in there, because it would be totally crazy if it
Yeah.
was shoulder to shoulder with people.
It's a really small store.
It
So,
is.
as much as I don't like waiting in lines, I also agree with you. I would not want to be in there with too many people.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's barely room to walk in there with
Yeah.
all of the racks of things. All
Hmm.
right. You had thought you were going to be using the resort pool once you got over to Pop Century. Did you do that? And I should ask, this was a first time at Pop Century since the Skyliner had been built,
Right. Right.
and then a first time since the resort renovation as well.
Hmm.
So, did you use the pool? And what did you think about the resort?
We did not end up using the pool. We didn't do any pool time on this day. The resort was really just a place for us to crash at
Mhm.
night. We had really late nights and really early mornings.
Mhm.
And in the pre trip and in planning, I thought, oh, maybe we could sneak in a little pool time. But realistically, for a baby to do the pool, He can really only be in there half an hour, and then he'd have to have a shower to get the chlorine off, and then he would definitely have to take a nap after that. That's a lot of activity. And so we just never had like a decent big chunk of time where we thought, oh, this would be a good time for the pool. So I'll have to go back. That's just what it has to be. I'll have to plan another trip to Pop to do the hippy dippy pool. But the renovations were nice. The room is like crisp and fresh, and it's very bright, but it's not overbearing, loud colors. You were just there recently too.
Yeah. I love Pop. I love it.
Yeah,
love
it was a
Yeah.
great experience. The Skyliner right there, that is the elite way to travel, in my opinion. And I can't believe that the Skyliner is at both Pop and Art of Animation, both the value resorts. I think it really bumps up the value of staying there.
Where was your room location? Were you near the Skyliner?
We were not far from the Skyliner, but we could have been closer. We were in the 80s section. We were in building 9 on the first floor. So I would have liked to be closer to the Skyliner, but I also wanted to be on the first floor. And so what was available when we got there around 1:00, the only first floor that they had was in the 80s. So I said, I'll take it.
Yeah, that makes a difference with when you have a stroller and you really wouldn't have the option to take the stairs ever.
Exactly. Yeah, that would have been a little bit more challenging. And I didn't want to, at the end of a long park day, we were getting back at like 1 a.m. a couple times. It just, you want to be able to just walk right into your room. I didn't want to fuss with the elevator.
This night you had Epcot after hours. So I think you were able to enter as early as 7 p.m. and the event went until 1 a.m. So tell me about your after hours time.
Well, a little bit of a backstory before that, we actually grabbed a 5 p.m. dinner reservation at Rosa Mexicano, which is at the Swan and Dolphin. Yeah. So, and I had been checking the weather forecast like crazy, a couple days ahead of time, and even up to the minute that we were leaving. And the day before, it said chance of showers in the afternoon then, which is classic Florida weather. But then when I checked the weather right before we left, it said clear skies. So I thought, well, I'm not going to bring my raincoat and I'm not going to bring the stroller cover and, this like bag of rain gear. If we don't need it, I'll just leave it here. When we were on the Skyliner heading over to International Gateway over in the Epcot area, it started to rain. And I was like in total denial. I was like, oh, it's just a shower. It's a sprinkle. I don't even see it on the radar. And then by the time we got off the Skyliner, it was torrential downpour.
Oh, no.
Enough rain that the boats were not, the boats that take you between Epcot and the Boardwalk area resorts, those were not running. And people were coming off the Skyliner and just waiting under that shelter, but you could tell it was getting full and we weren't going to be able to just stand around there much longer. So I was like, let's just go for it. So we walked up until the Beach Yacht Club area, and then we ducked in there. They have those complimentary towels. Like they have it down to a science when it's raining. They know what people are going to need. So we grabbed some complimentary towels there and we looked at each other and we were like, we are drenched. There's no way that this is going to be like an enjoyable time. If we're going to just be like dripping. So we stopped in the store at Beach Club. We got ourselves some new t-shirts. I'm wearing mine. I got the Halloween Walt Disney graphic tee, and we kept them in the bag, rolled up tight under the stroller, and then we just trudged on to Swan and Dolphin. Got there. They had some more complimentary towels to help us dry off. We gathered ourselves in the bathroom, changed into our new outfits, and had our dinner. And then thankfully, by the time dinner was over, it was done raining. So that was fine. And Oakie stayed dry the whole time. I had the awning on the stroller down, and he was the only one that was dry. We were totally soaked.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, at least you're now the proud owner of a cute new Halloween tee.
That's right. So we're like, all right, first souvenir of being on Disney property. We got these t-shirts.
Yes, you will not be the last person to get some last minute merch because you're uncomfortable in some way. Whether like I've bought socks, I've bought,
oh yeah,
different things like that thankfully they have plenty of that kind of thing at Disney, and you can do it, but
Absolutely.
it can be an expensive proposition. So,
Yeah.
better to be
Yes.
prepared, but sometimes it's nice to be forced to buy something. I
I
guess I
know. I
have to.
know. Absolutely. I know. I probably would have bought a t-shirt anyways, so that
Yeah.
was fine. But it's so funny looking back at our pictures then from the after hours event. We're like, those are our t-shirts from when it rained. So good memories.
How did you like Rosa Mexicana?
Oh, it was excellent. It was so
Mhm.
good. I had a margarita and the beef brisket enchiladas. It was
Mhm.
very, very good. I would return there. It was great. And I had never been in either the Swan or the Dolphin. So
Okay.
it's really grand. The lobby is beautiful, very
Mhm.
artsy. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice.
And I think it's a Marriott property. So,
Yes, it's a good neighbor hotel. Yeah, I believe it is
yeah.
owned by Marriott.
Yeah, so or excuse me, Marriott. I've recently learned that it's rhymes with chariot.
Oh, okay.
That's what their
Good to
CEO
know.
said.
Okay. Well, they probably
So,
know.
if you have Marriott points, then
Yes.
you could potentially be using those for Swan and Dolphin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, all right.
Yeah.
So, what time did you head into Epcot?
So we ended up walking into Epcot just about 7 p.m., which is
Mhm.
when you're allowed to get in with your ticket for after hours.
Mhm. All right.
Yep.
Walk me through your evening.
So we did the first thing that we did after we walked into International Gateway, we headed to America and we did the American Adventure Show.
Oh, I have
So
not done that in forever.
yeah, before the trip, we were talking about what are things that we have never done in Epcot, and we might have done that show in like the year 2001, but neither of us remembered it. So we thought, let's do it. But it's about a 40-minute show.
Mhm.
So if that's a big time commitment in your Epcot day. So we just thought if we just get in at 7 p.m. and there's still day guests and also after hours guests, mingling around. It's not like wait times for things are going to be super low. That would be a good time to do it. And it
Right.
was an awesome, awesome show. I know everybody's making a big fuss about the new Walt Disney animatronic and how he can lean on a desk and stuff like
Mhm.
that. But in the American Adventure Show, these animatronics were doing things that I didn't know were like things that animatronic could do.
Mhm.
Benjamin Franklin walks up a set of stairs. That just
Mhm.
seems like more advanced than any of the
Leaning on a
newer.
desk.
Yes, yes. So I was blown away. Like I'm pretty sure my mouth was open. I was like, "What? Did an animatronic just walk up the stairs?" It was crazy. So yeah, I would recommend it just for it's a great message. It's a good show, and the animatronics will blow your mind. So would
Okay.
recommend. After that, we headed to Mexico and we did the Grand Fiesta tour. And then after that, it was just about time for fireworks. So we grabbed a seat on a bench near the Odyssey Pavilion.
Mhm.
And it wasn't, definitely not front row for fireworks, but a great view from there. And it was nice because, we had room to spread out and Oakie was a little fidgety. So he could be, we're not like stepping on anybody watching the fireworks. So that was a good spot. And then we headed to Living with the Land. Have to do Living with the Land every time we go to
A must
Epcot.
do.
Yes, a must. And Oki fell asleep during that. The pan flute just soothed
Oh,
him right to sleep.
yes. It is so relaxing.
It's
It's like,
so good.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I consider it to be like a theme park massage because you go in and you just like
Yes.
zone out. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And we had our own boat, so we were in the front and, at night going through the
Mhm.
greenhouse, it's a vibe. It's lovely. So Oki was asleep. I was holding him. So my mom hopped on Soren. And
Mhm.
at this time, everything is a walk on because the after hours like time frame had kicked in. And
Mhm.
the only thing that really was a wait, there was a half an hour wait for Guardians, but everything
Mhm.
else was a walk on. So my mom did Soren, and then we all went on the Seas with Nemo.
Mhm.
And after that, we got off Nemo, and we realized there was no one else in the Seas Pavilion. So we're like, oh, let's take advantage of this and look around. It was like being in our own private aquarium. That was really
Mhm.
great and just very zen and soothing. So that was cool. And they have some manatees back, so we just watched them for a little bit,
Mhm.
eating their lettuce. And then after that, we headed to Journey of Water because it's right across the way. And then we went over to Frozen, and it was a walk-on. So we rode it 3 times in a row
Oh,
because
wow.
it's not, our favorite ride. We do try to do it once a trip, but when do you ever have the opportunity to just ride it over and over?
Mm-hmm.
And we could
Does
have done
Oakie
it.
like it?
Yes, he did. There's a lot to see. His head
Mm-hmm.
was on a swivel. Do I look right, left? There's things on the ceiling. Um, yes, I think he did enjoy it. I think he was a little bit like, I was just napping and now I woke up and, I have no idea where I am, but this is awesome. And we could have done it more, but we were like, I think 3 times is enough. And then we headed over to France because we wanted to ride Remy's. And we saw Minnie Mouse was out. She had no line. So we went and talked with Minnie Mouse for a bit. And then when we were getting closer to Remy's, we realized that it was down. And
Hmm.
it was pretty late at night, and we were looking at our plans for the next day, just, sitting on a bench waiting to see if Remy's would come back up. And that's when we realized that our first lightning lane the next day in Animal Kingdom was in about 9 hours. So we thought we should probably wrap this up, just hop back on the Skyliner while we're over here. Oh, no, actually, we didn't take the Skyliner back. We took the bus because the Skyliner was not running for after hours.
Oh,
So
it wasn't. Okay.
yeah, not
Hmm.
enough people probably going to each destination to
Yeah.
justify running the Skyliner. Yeah.
So you had to walk all the way to the front of the park.
We did, yes. And on our way, we picked up, there's snacks are included in your ticket
Mm-hmm.
price. So during the night, we had been enjoying like popcorn, and even the maple popcorn in Canada
Mm-hmm.
was available, and the different Mickey Premium bars and the ice cream sandwich and stuff like that. So I think we grabbed another popcorn and some bottled water and things like
Mm-hmm.
that on our way out. And then we were back at Pop around 1:30 in the morning.
Oh,
So
wow.
that was a long day.
All right. The next day, Friday,
Mm-hmm.
September 26th, you were starting out at Animal Kingdom. You told me for a
Yes.
fact you were not going to be rope dropping, but what
Right.
time did you try to get there?
We were on the bus at 9 a.m.
Okay.
So I thought that was pretty good for not getting back until about 1:30.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you had been planning for some lightning lanes. Your top
Yes.
priorities, I think, were Everest, Dinosaur, and Navi River Journey,
So,
followed
yep.
closely by Safari and Shows.
Yes. So I ended up getting lightning lanes for River Journey, Everest, and Safari.
Okay. What was your
Yes.
first one?
The first one was Navi River Journey. So
Mm-hmm.
on while we were sitting on the bus on our way over, I mobile ordered our breakfast at Sutuli Canteen.
Mm-hmm.
So we headed there first, and then when we finished up breakfast, then we hopped on Navi River.
Did you try the cold brew flight?
Yes, yes. We got the cinnamon French toast, the tropical Pandorian forest fruits, which is the
The
yogurt
Greek yogurt?
fruit
Yeah,
bowl.
that's what I have. It's
Yes,
good.
yes. That was really good. And the cold brew flight.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom said there's the matcha and the
Mm-hmm.
ube and the regular. And my
Yeah.
mom said she would not have ordered herself either the matcha or the ube, but those were her favorite out of the flight. And I agreed.
Mm-hmm. My favorite was the ube.
That was so good. It was a
Yeah.
nice sweetness. The purple color
Mm-hmm.
is nice. Yeah. And I think I listened to your trip report when you had them, and you're like, we just both kind of were like meh on the regular one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we were too.
Mm-hmm.
So I would recommend it to anybody who's a little bit adventurous in their coffee taste. That was so good.
Yeah. So then you did Navi.
Yeah.
Where did you head after that?
After that, we went to Everest, and we obviously did like a rider swap situation. So one of us could hang
Mm-hmm.
out with Oakie. And after that, we went to the Cretaceous Trail, and we met Chip and Dale and also Daisy in their dinosaur Dino Land outfits.
Mm-hmm.
So cute. Wanted to do that just in case we don't see that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, sad. And then I stopped in at Restaurantosaurus Lounge, and I had never been there, and I
Mm-hmm.
figured Restaurantosaurus, their days are numbered, so might as well try something there. And both got us a drink to have in our hand as we walked over to the safari. And the safari was lovely, but then right after that, we hopped to Hollywood Studios.
Okay. You didn't do dinosaur?
We did not do Dino. We looked at the dinosaur statue, we said our goodbyes, but
Mm-hmm.
it was like a 20-minute wait, which is not bad. But we both
Mm-hmm.
said last trip, we went
You
full
felt like you
on
gave it its
dinosaur.
goodbye. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And, it's very sad. And I would have done it again, but we also felt like, we had made our peace last time. So that was a
Yeah.
good final ride last time. Yeah.
So what time was it when you did your hop over to Hollywood?
Our lightning lane for the safari was 12:45, so we were probably hopping over to Hollywood maybe an hour after that.
And you had an outfit change planned.
Yes, yes. We in preparation for our capture the moment in Batu, we did have an outfit change.
Mm-hmm.
And we stopped into Docking Bay 7. At that point Oakie was kind of wilting from both the heat and I think, lack of sleep. He probably could have gone for a nap, but it's super busy in Hollywood studios. And so I figured a nap wasn't going to happen. So let's go to Docking Bay, got him the kids' tip yip meal, got him
Mm-hmm.
some AC, and that kind of, revived him enough that he was happy for heading into our capture the moment.
How was capture the moment? And I assume you've seen your results now.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel like it was worth it?
I do think it's worth it. 100%. Yes. I would recommend this. Especially for families that are traveling together that may not have an opportunity to get like family photos done.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice. If you have the memory maker added to your package, then you get all of the digital downloads at no extra cost.
Mm-hmm.
It's $99 to book the session. It's advertised as a 20-minute photo shoot. They recommend that you get there 10 minutes early, and which we did. And, you just chat about like, is there anything in particular that you really want to do? Do you want all group shots, any individual stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
But that was really like a 2-second conversation for us because we were kind of like, we we trust the experts, whatever you want to do, whatever backgrounds, like
Mm-hmm.
dealer's choice. And they did a great job. So we got started probably 10 minutes early, and I think all total our session probably was closer to like 45 minutes.
Oh, wow.
um and at the very end, the stormtroopers came out, so we had like some interaction with the stormtroopers, which kind of freaked Okie out a little bit. That
Mm-hmm.
was scary for him, but I could see like if you had maybe young kids that were a little bit older than him, getting that
Mm-hmm.
interaction and then also having that part of the photo shoot would be just
Mm-hmm.
such an added bonus. But yeah, I think it is definitely worth it if anybody's ever looked into like even doing a mini photo shoot, in your
Mm-hmm.
hometown with somebody. I think it's maybe at minimum would be like 250, and then
Right.
at that point you get like 10 digital downloads. So for $100, and then if you have the memory maker, you get all the pictures. I think it's such a good value. I would definitely do
Mm-hmm.
it. Yeah.
When you scheduled that,
Mm-hmm.
do they have like a drop down list of all the different places you can choose from?
So when you go in to schedule it, you should decide which park you want to do it at
Mm-hmm.
before you go in to check what times are available, because they each have their a different page that leads you to
Mm-hmm.
the reservations. And at Hollywood Studios, you can do general Hollywood Studios, or you can do Batu specific. So depending
Mm-hmm.
on what area you wanted to do, you can pick then. And it's the same as like a dining reservation. You
Mm-hmm.
go in at your 60 days before you check in and snag a reservation. And they are they're not as hard to come by as like a Topolino's reservation, but they're not. You probably won't be able to get it if you wait too long to secure your
Mm-hmm.
spot. So I would suggest trying to get it at your 60 days. And then they have various time slots during the day. And I actually modified ours a couple times when I was thinking
Mm-hmm.
through how our day was going to go. So I think between 60 and 50 days before our trip was when I had it definitely secured. And just something else to know, at the time of booking is when you
Mm-hmm.
pay the $99.
Okay. So
Yes.
paid in advance.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a tipping situation? Like, do you tip your photographer when you leave?
We did not. I was not under the impression that that was something that was expected.
Okay.
So I
All
don't
right.
think so. And
Yeah, that would be my assumption
yeah,
too, but you never know.
yes. And they have the main photographer, and then they also have like an assistant with them who will push your stroller or hold your magic band for you and just kind of make
Mhm.
sure that you're not fumbling around and wasting, your 20-minute time slot. So that was really
Yeah.
helpful. Yeah.
Cool.
Uh,
Where did you head next?
After that, we went to Minnie's seasonal dine at Hollywood and Vine. We had a 3:45 reservation for that. And after our capture of the moment, we were kind of like, oh, it's like almost 3:45. So we hustled over there. We waved to Mando and Grogu on our way out of Batu and went right to our seasonal dine reservation at 3:45, which we haven't done that in a long time. Previously, we did the breakfast there, which is the Disney Junior characters, but the lunch and dinner reservations is where you have Minnie and the gang, and they're in seasonal outfits. So they were all in Halloween costumes.
I've heard actually good things about the dinner there, and that was not something that you used to hear back in the day. It used to
Yes.
be sort of one of the lesser liked dinner reservations, but was the food good?
The food was good. Yeah. The kids options are really, really great. I think those are like, would be a highlight if you have young kids. That would be a great spot. They have everything from various, fancy salads and fried tofu dishes, and they have meat carving. They have a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
I was impressed with the selection, and we definitely left with our bellies pretty full.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I especially wanted to secure that reservation because knowing that we were going to do the Halloween party, I knew that we were going to be tempted to do meet and greets with characters in their Halloween costumes.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't want to use a lot of our holiday party time waiting in lines for characters. So I thought maybe that could kind of satisfy that to be meeting these characters while we were dining in their like specialty Halloween outfits.
Mm-hmm. That's smart. How late did you go this night? I'm starting to feel a little tired based on how much you've packed in already. And so I'm wondering, like, how are you holding up at this point after you finish your dinner?
I we were doing great. Oakie was kind of fading, but I had like a carrier that straps onto the front, and so he
Mm-hmm.
was able to catch a couple cat naps along the way. But we ended up staying out pretty late every day. I think we were just like on a
Mm-hmm.
Disney high, and I don't. My feet never hurt this trip. It was crazy. We just kept going and going, and when we were in Animal Kingdom that morning, I was able to start stacking some lightning lanes for the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
So after dinner, we had a couple lightning lanes. We did Runaway Railway. We did Tower of Terror. I also got a Frozen in Terror, that drink at the
Yes, the
Joffrey's
grape.
cart.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the grape lemonade. Very
Mm-hmm.
good. Like a frozen slush
Mm-hmm.
situation. Very refreshing. And then we caught the 7 o'clock Villains live show, which we
Yes.
really enjoyed. Um,
Who won in your
Cruella
show?
won.
Okay. Yes, and since
Yeah.
my episodes aired, I did have people reach out to tell me that other people can win. So I was glad to hear that. That's interesting. Did you feel like Cruella legitimately won based on the audience reaction?
I think she did legitimately win, but I also feel like, and I think this was a comment of yours, when Cruella came out, I just felt like she had more going on to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So it did, in hindsight, I feel like they set her up to win
Mm-hmm.
by winning over the audience with her performance. It was a little bit more
Hmm.
grand than the other villains. Because like as soon as she came out, I was like, oh, she's the winner in my eyes. But I wonder
Yeah.
if they can edit the performance a little bit to kind of
Yeah.
sway the
I wonder
results.
I wonder if they each have a non-winner version of their performance and a winner
Mm-hmm.
version
Mm-hmm.
because yeah, in mine Maleficent's it was like the audience reaction definitely it leaned in that direction, but I
Mm-hmm.
think it was because she came out and hers just felt more full and
Yes.
there was something like Krilla's was fine. Captain Hook's was not good. And
Yeah.
I don't know, there was just something about his that felt like it felt like he was like out of breath and like he had only rehearsed it a couple times, to be honest.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and so it was like, oh, this is set up this way. So I
Mm-hmm.
would love to go back and watch it at a time when somebody else
Yes.
wins so that I can see, does this feel like a totally different performance
Yes.
so that this person can win.
Yes. I'm curious about that too. Because when Cruella stepped out, she was like, oh, she owns this show. Like
Right.
it was, there was no way anybody else was going to win. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt with
Yeah.
Maleficent. So,
The show was very fun. The songs, it's a bop.
mm-hmm.
We loved it. I thought it was a great addition. I never went to the Lightning McQueen show, so I can't, really speak to
Oh, that
that.
was
But I
fine.
think, yeah,
Eh.
I think this villain show is a great replacement. Yeah.
Yeah. The songs are available on Spotify now.
Yes, I just
Yeah.
saw that. Yeah, so I'll probably be listening. They're
Yeah.
earworms. Yeah.
They definitely are. They definitely are. All right. Where did you head next?
So, yep, we did the 7 p.m. show, and I would suggest still at this time you need to get there a little bit early because I think there was so many people in line that they had to cut it off at some point. So after the villain show, we had a lightning lane for Rockin'. We were trying to do that one more time before it turns into Muppets, but Rockin' went down, so it turned
Mm-hmm.
into a use it on any ride lightning lane. And
Mm-hmm.
it had been years since we did Toy Story Mania, so we headed over to Toy Story Mania, and wow, that is a lot of fun. We
Yeah.
really enjoyed that. And I had Oakie strapped to the front in the carrier, and he was
Uh-huh.
asleep. And the thing is, you can sit in that car with a little lap bar come down, but your child needs to be technically like in your lap. So we kind of
Uh-huh.
adjusted it so that his bum was on my legs, so technically he was in my lap. But man, that really whips you around corners.
Uh-huh.
So I was like holding on to him with one arm, holding on to the car with the other. Yeah, that goes a lot faster than I thought, than I
Mm-hmm.
remembered. But that was so much fun, and our arms were so sore. We did not get a stellar score, either of us, but we did get an arm workout.
Were you competing against each other?
Oh,
Were
of
you
course. Of course. It was no
trash talking
competition.
each other?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I won out of the two of us. I did not get best in vehicle, but out of the two of us,
I've never
I
once
was
gotten
the
best in
winner.
vehicle. Yeah, it is an arm workout. So
Yeah.
I recommend that people, when they give you your practice round, don't practice.
Oh, don't practice. Yeah. Maybe do
No.
some stretches
Yeah.
during that
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Take some
Yeah.
deep breaths.
Right.
Prepare yourself.
Right, right. Yeah, that it's so cute. It's so fun. The line is always pretty long, so if you can get a lightning lane for that, it's a really
Yeah.
good ride. So after that, that was about 9:30. We were like, we should be done for the day, and we headed back on the Skyliner, and we were in bed around 10:30. So that was
Okay. So
probably
this
one of
was
the earlier
an early
nights.
night for you.
Yeah, yeah,
This group of night owls. Okay.
yeah,
Saturday, September 27th, you were starting off your day at Epcot, but
yeah.
before that, you had a 9 a.m. breakfast reservation at Cake Bake.
Yes. Yep. So we took the Skyliner to the International Gateway again.
Mm-hmm.
We arrived there at about 8 in the morning. We took a slow stroll over to Cake Bake,
Mm-hmm.
and we were sitting down for our reservation at 8:45, and that was really really lovely. I think we were both kind of, I don't know if afraid is the right word, but hesitant to try Cake Bake because there was a big fuss over the menu prices,
Mm-hmm.
and it just felt like maybe it was going to be a little bit more of an elevated experience, and maybe you would not feel like you belonged there in your like park clothes and
Mm-hmm.
with a baby. But that was not the feeling that we got at all.
Mm-hmm.
We ordered all the food that we wanted and specialty coffees, and granted it is a breakfast meal, but it ended up being one of the least expensive sit down meals of the trip. So
Okay.
being afraid of price, you could price out, look at the menu ahead of time and price it out, and see if that's within your budget that you want to spend there. But I thought it was a really great experience. The service is service at all Disney dining is great, but this was really above and beyond. And it does feel very elegant, but we didn't feel out of place in our park wear.
Yeah.
That's
I
very
think
nice.
to me, there are very few places on Disney property where you would feel out of place in
Yeah.
park clothes. And even a couple of those places where I would personally feel out of place in park clothes, there will be people there in park
Exactly.
clothes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I hope that people will give places a try. Don't be
Yeah.
intimidated by how fancy, using air quotes, they seem. They expect people to be in a wide range of
Yes.
clothing because people are there for the parks. So.
Yes. Yes. And it was great. It was very tasty. They have a breakfast appetizer, the cinnamon toast brioche bites.
Mm-hmm.
That was so good. I got the ham and goat cheese quiche. My mom got Belgian waffles. We ordered a kids meal for Oakie. It was eggs, potatoes, and bacon. He ended
Mm-hmm.
up falling asleep in my lap. So we ate his meal, and it was very good. And then I also got an iced mocha, and my mom got a coconut latte. And I tried a bit of hers too, and they're very good. The coffee is
Mm.
great there. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I've
would
heard.
recommend. And also before you leave, use the restroom there because it's the most beautiful restroom on property. I'm gonna go out there and say
Wow.
that. Yes.
Okay.
And the changing table is beautiful, and everything is just you can tell they put thought into every detail. It's very nice.
Mm-hmm. What time did you wrap up breakfast?
That's a good question. We were probably there the better part of an hour.
Okay.
And we didn't rush into Epcot after that because what we wanted, our goals that day in Epcot was to enjoy the countries because
Mm-hmm.
that portion wasn't, not everything was open during our after hours event. And we did pretty much every ride that we wanted to do during the after hours. So actually, after we ate, we just walked over to the Boardwalk Inn
Mm-hmm.
and we applied our sunscreen and we enjoyed some AC. And the kids' meal came with a coloring page. So Oki sat at the table and scribbled with his colored pencils and stuff like that. And we just sort of, relaxed and knowing that we were going to have another busy day ahead of us, just took in the vibes of the boardwalk. And they have really comfy couches there. And
Mm-hmm.
just hung out a little bit before we walked into Epcot.
Comfy couches and creepy chairs.
Yes, yes, yes. Those those nanny chairs. Yeah, absolutely.
I saw someone's picture on social media that had dressed up as one of the nanny chairs for Halloween.
That's amazing. Did they
It
go to the
is
Halloween party?
you know what? I don't know. I have no idea.
That would have been a
They
good
were
fit.
posing next to the chair, so they were
Okay.
there.
Okay.
But it was the creepiest costume. I was
Yeah,
like,
I
no,
can imagine.
but they nailed it.
Yeah.
So all right, what did you do after you had your downtime at the boardwalk?
So we walked into Epcot
Mm-hmm.
and we did Remy's first thing as single rider.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't sure if me holding Oki was going to count as single rider because we would only take up one seat, but technically we are two people. But that's
Mm-hmm.
allowed. If you have the carrier where they're like kind of attached to your body, then you count
Mm-hmm.
as one person.
Okay.
So we all got in the single rider line and then we all rode in the same car anyways.
Okay.
So, and that was 15-minute wait. It was definitely worth the gamble of the single rider line. So we got in very
Mm-hmm.
quickly. And then we headed over to Belgium and got some chilled coffees. And then stopped in Japan for a violet sake. That's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
a must do for me.
I should pause and say you stopped in, for people who are planning a trip and are not as familiar. You stopped in Belgium, which is especially there for food and wine. It is not an actual
Yes,
pavilion, so
yes,
don't
yes,
think
yes.
you're going crazy. And where
Mm-hmm.
did Belgium go?
Yes, festival booth, festival
Yes,
booth.
festival
Yes,
booth.
yes. The chilled coffee was one of the things that my mom and I both had our eye on for
Mm-hmm.
the festival foods, and it was tasty.
Mm.
So after that, making our way around to Morocco Pavilion, we stopped in that Florida Blue Lounge.
Mm-hmm.
which is in the restaurant that didn't reopen after the COVID closure. And anyone can go in there. I think it used to be an annual pass holder exclusive, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
DVC exclusive lounge.
I
But
think it
now
was annual pass holder. Yeah.
annual pass, that makes sense. Yeah. But now anyone can go in. You just have to pull up on your phone. Like there's a link. If you look up the Florida Blue Lounge, you follow the link and it
Mm-hmm.
brings you to a screen and you just show the screen, and they let you in. And they had complimentary cold brew and iced teas and water,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a craft that you can do. We didn't participate in the craft, but it was just nice to take in some AC. This was a really, really hot couple of days in Florida, and so we were ducking in and out of AC just to, well, for ourselves, but also just wanted to make sure that Oakie didn't get
Mm-hmm.
overheated, and give him opportunities to play with his toys that we brought him, and not get some energy out so that we didn't have any meltdowns.
What was the point of showing the code to them?
When you log in, or when you follow the link, you have to give your email address. So I'm
Got
assuming,
it. They're
Florida
collecting email
Blue, they
addresses.
take
Yeah.
your data, or they're going to sell it or something. I'm sure I'll have some spam emails from them at some
I,
point in the future.
yeah. I mean,
Um, yeah,
most of my email is spam these
yeah,
days.
yeah. Yeah. So in my opinion, worth it.
Okay.
Top tier AC. It ended up sprinkling a little bit while we were in there. Just
Mm-hmm.
coincidence that we avoided that. So it's a good place to duck in, if weather is coming.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was nice. A good use of that space. I would like to see the restaurant reopen, but if not, then using it as a lounge like that, I think is a worthy thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got a soft pretzel in Germany. Oki, big, big, big fan of soft pretzels. So I think that might have been the highlight of his day. We all shared a big soft pretzel. And then after he ate a good portion of soft pretzel and he had a full belly and it was warm, he fell asleep in his stroller, which I was so happy. He never, ever does that. I think that's probably the third time in his life that he's fallen asleep in the stroller.
Oh,
And
he was
yeah,
Disney tired.
he was Disney tired. That was some Disney magic for us. And then we headed over to Shimmering Sips, also a festival booth, and we shared a mimosa flight. And then I had my eye on that Remy milkshake in Sunshine Seasons in the Land
Mm-hmm.
Pavilion. So Oki and my mom sat outside the land, and I ran inside and I got the Remy shake. And then there's also a pistachio macaron
Mm-hmm.
that is, I think, newer. So I grabbed that, and we hung out right outside the land, and people watched and watched the monorail go by and enjoyed our snack. And then when we were all set there, we took the monorail to Magic Kingdom, and that was a little bit after 3 o'clock, I think.
Okay. And one of the reasons you were heading there was because you were lucky enough to get a Beak and Barrel
That's
reservation.
right. Yes.
All right. Did you head straight there once you
We
got into
yeah,
the park?
we lingered around the entrance. We took some pictures, but then pretty much straight to Beacon Barrel. We had our reservation at 4:40,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to get there early just to make sure that we checked in. I didn't want to be late and gamble with them giving our
Mm-hmm.
reservation up. So, yep, we headed pretty much straight there. And if you are sitting around the entrance to Beacon Barrel where you check in, the air conditioning seeps out of the Beacon Barrel into that little area, and it is really very cool
Mm.
there. There's not really a lot to sit on. There's like some planters that have an edge that you can kind of lean on before your reservation. That's a good spot to be.
Okay. Did you get a standing table or did you actually get to sit?
No, we were seated at a small table near the fireplace that has the ships in a bottle on the mantle.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a nice spot. We could see into the main, I think they call where the bar is, they call that the mess. So we
Mm-hmm.
had a good sight line into the mess, and we were by the fireplace, like I said, and those ships in a bottle have kind of like a little routine where they shoot cannonballs at each other and then they sink in the bottle, which is really very cool. So we kind of had some entertainment on both sides. And
Mm-hmm.
while we were there, though, Rummy the parrot, the pirate parrot, he was not working. they still played his audio, but he never like shuffled out. So we didn't see
Interesting.
him, but we heard him. Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Poor guy. He's having an
Yeah.
off day, I guess.
How were the drinks?
The drinks were pretty good. There's a 2 drink maximum per person, and having Oakie there, he counted as a little pirate himself. So each adult, we both ordered 2 alcoholic beverages, and then we ordered both of the non-alcoholic beverages for Oakie.
Mm-hmm.
And at 15 months, he can really only handle like a couple sips of something. So that's kind of a hack if you want to try more, is to just order for your kids also.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to try both of those non-alcoholic drinks as well. And we also ordered the island provisions, which is like the sort of chips and dip type food that they have.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good. I think the standout dish or the standout drink would have been the Salty Seas margarita. That was a favorite for both of us.
I love your commitment to the delivery of the name.
Yeah. But there's a lot to like in there. We will be back. The glasses that the drinks come in are like super chilled. Our hands were like freezing holding them, but it's so nice in Florida to get a super chilled drink. And there's so much to see in there. I'm sure there's a lot of bits and like performance elements that happen while you're sitting there. And I'm sure in our 45-minute time allowance in there, we haven't seen it all. So we will definitely be back.
I cannot wait to try it. It was, unfortunately, when we went for our most recent trip, it was the opening weekend for it. And
Oh, that's
so
so tough. Yeah.
I was on there the day that you could make reservations. Well, the day that fell through where everybody was trying to make reservations. Then I was on the other day that they actually did the reservations. And then I kept trying right up until, and I just didn't get it. So, and I did try, and I would recommend this always. I walked up to the person when we got there and I was like, I know it's unlikely, but do you have any walk-in space?
Always
And they were like,
ask.
no, but you always ask because there are cancellations all the time. So yeah, I think because it was opening weekend, of course there were no cancellations. But
yeah, definitely. Yeah, but you'll get there. I have faith. The Imagineers, they really outdid themselves on this one. I'm an Oga's fan. I think maybe the drinks at Oga's are a little bit tastier, in my opinion. But I think the way that Beacon Barrel is laid out so that you're not shoulder to shoulder with people, I think it's a little bit more relaxed. There is a lot happening, but the volume is a little bit lower, so you can have, it's more conversational volume in there. It was really nice, and I was a little bit afraid that Oakie would be scared because there's like thunder and lightning effects and stuff like that. But he had a ball. The CMs are singing sea shanties and stuff like that, and he was clapping and dancing and having a good time. So I would not shy away from bringing your little pirates there.
You had a dinner reservation this night too. Like, how close was that to your Beacon Barrel reservation?
That wasn't too bad. So Beacon Barrel reservation was at 4:40, and then we had a Jungle Navigation reservation at 5:45. So we had just enough time to take a leisurely stroll over and check in for dinner. Which was good. We got the Taste Like Chicken and the Noodle Bowl classics. Can't go wrong there. I love the Jungle Cruise-esque theme and the jokes and everything, and the food is always solid. So that was a good time.
Yeah. I love that restaurant, but I do think there are a lot of people who the menu is a bit adventurous for some. So,
yes.
But I would say that everyone should give it a try because the stuff there is just so tasty, and you get the jokes, and
Yeah. I will say my mom she will be the first to admit she's a pretty picky eater. And so I think that she does feel like Jungle Navigation is a bit of an adventurous, selection for her. But she got the chicken, and there's no big, bold flavors really happening with the chicken. So if you are a picky eater, I wouldn't be too afraid. The chicken is tame. I think it's a crowd pleaser.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. What else did you do before it was time for the Starlight Parade? Because that was your other big goal
Yes,
this day.
yes. Yeah, right. So after that, we went and watched the Country Bear Jamboree. I love the new version. I know that might be a
So do
controversial
I.
opinion.
I
Yes.
love it.
The reimagining is so good. It's such a bop. Baby Oakie is clapping and dancing along, and you look around and people are singing, and they're just like all ages, all generations. You know the songs. The
Mm-hmm.
costumes are beautiful. It's a great show. And after that, we exited, and we're in Frontierland, and that was about 7:20. And the parade, the first parade is at 8 o'clock, and there were already people lining up for the parade. So we
Mm,
thought, let's just grab a spot for the parade. If we needed something, we have two adults. One of us could go run and get, if we wanted a snack or something, that would have been
mm-hmm.
fine to do. But we ended up just hanging out there. There was a lot of good people watching. There's cast members, selling the bubble wands and stuff. So there's a lot to look at, a lot to take in. And we just sat there for, 40 minutes waiting for the parade to start. But I think that's not usually something I would do, like sit around
Mm-hmm.
and reserve my spot and wait for the parade. But having that front row spot for the Starlight parade was pretty clutch. I think that was a good view and a good use of time.
Where was your spot located?
We were like very close to Country Bears. We
Okay.
were in Frontierland. We did not make it far out of the
Mm-hmm.
exit of Country Bears before we thought, oh, there's a little front row spot we can wedge ourselves into. And in
Mm-hmm.
fact, not too long after we settled into our spot, they made an announcement saying that all of the seating for the 8 p.m. parade was occupied. So,
Mm-hmm.
just telling people like don't be walking around looking for a spot because they're all
Right.
filled. Yeah. So then
Yeah.
we kind of like exchange a look like, yeah, this was a good idea.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is, especially from back there, there's a little bit of
Mhm.
a wait because the parade starts at the
Mhm.
front of the park. So if it's an 8 o'clock parade, it's probably not getting to where you are until
Yes.
closer to 8:20.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It comes in the other direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Did
spectacular.
did you have a favorite float?
Well, Whimsy, the train at the end, is really
Mm-hmm.
nice. But I think the Cocoa float was
Yeah.
beautiful. The Peter Pan float is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Moana was great. And they have those people that go in front. They're like holding lights on a stick that are like themed to the
Mm-hmm.
float that's behind them. I thought the Moana light holders in front were especially pretty.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's great to have a nighttime parade, have a little bit more nighttime entertainment in Magic Kingdom. And, the music is great and it's just really pretty. So I would
Mm-hmm.
definitely add that to your list if you're planning to be in Magic Kingdom for an afternoon.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then after the 8 o'clock parade, we just moved a little bit closer to the castle. We were over by Sleepy Hollow, kind of like behind, but to the side of the castle. And we hung
Mm-hmm.
out there for the 9 o'clock fireworks, which was a really great spot. If you're into looking at the details that are in the projections, we
Mm-hmm.
were, for where we were standing, we were front row to the castle. It's definitely not a straight on like front of the castle view. It's
Mm-hmm.
you see the side of the castle, but we got to see a lot of the details that are in the projections. And still a great view for fireworks. There's a lot of places you can see the fireworks really well. And then
Mm-hmm.
after the fireworks, they open up that walkway that goes behind the castle, and we walked from Sleepy Hollow to the People Mover, and that was around 9:45, and the park closed at 10. So when we got off the People Mover, the park was technically closed. So we
Mm-hmm.
just headed back to Pop on the bus.
What a good day.
I know it was really fun.
Mm. Got a lot done. And to wrap it up with a ride on the People Mover is, I think,
Yes.
a pro move.
Yes. It was nice to just rest your feet for a couple minutes before making the
Yeah.
trek out of the park. Yeah.
All right. Sunday, September 28th was a Magic
Hmm.
Kingdom day. So
Hmm.
you started your day with breakfast at the Grand Floridian.
Yes, the Grand Flow Cafe. at 8:45, we got a pressed pot of coffee. I got the Pog French toast, which was really the reason why I wanted to go eat there is because I was seeing this Pog French toast online, and it was really, really good. I think it's worth the trip over there. We took a minibus or a minivan, sorry, to the Grand Flow just to make it like a more direct commute from Pop to the Grand Flow. Otherwise, we would have probably taken the bus to Magic Kingdom and then the monorail over. But we just
I think
thought
you can take a normal Lyft or Uber there if you have a dining reservation like that.
Probably so. Yes.
Yeah.
The minivan, it is definitely more expensive than a normal Uber or Lyft, but they have the car seats,
They have the car seats
already installed when you get there. And we usually take a minivan once, maybe twice a trip. And we always just have like the best conversation with the driver. If you can swing it for a trip and it makes sense to get from point A to point B with a minivan, I would do it. I think it really it's a magical experience. It pluses up the day. It's a really nice way to start your day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so after that, I had a park ticket, and Oakie, being under 3, doesn't need a park ticket. So myself and Oakie went into Magic Kingdom, and my mom, she didn't have a day ticket. We all had party tickets. So she went via the monorail to the Polynesian to take in the vibes and look at the shops. So Oki and we took some pics by the castle, and he was pretty tired at that point, and it was a very, very hot day, and I knew that we were going to have a long night. So I thought about hanging out in the baby care center for a bit, but it was like very busy and kind of loud in there, and I knew that he wasn't going to be able to fall asleep. So we actually just hung out in the lobby area of the Hall of Presidents. And he took a nap, and I kind of like holding him, walked around and looked at the artifacts that they have on display, and talked to another couple that took the auto train, and just kind of people watched and enjoyed the AC, which was good. And my objective of that day really was in the future, Oki and I are going to have some park days where it's just the two of us. And so I wanted to kind of do like
like a trial run.
A trial, yeah, exactly, yeah. A low risk situation, like if I needed to, I could duck out, and I knew my mom would be some good backup if I totally wore myself out just trying to do the two of us. And I wanted to see how it went, like going through security with the stroller and the baby and our stuff and all that. And so it was a successful test run. And, we got some cute pictures in and just took in some vibes of Magic Kingdom. And then we met up at Steakhouse 71 for our late lunch at 1:45.
Had you been to Steakhouse 71? I can't remember.
No, I had never been.
Okay.
Yeah,
what did you think?
I loved it. It was great. I love all the pictures on the walls. The murals are so pretty. It was really nice. We both got the steak, and then we split the signature chocolate cake, which was so good.
Yes.
What
did
good.
Oki get?
He got a nap.
Oh.
Yeah.
This kid, he keeps sleeping through all his meals.
Yes, I think the AC and just sitting still, he slept mostly while we ate. Yeah, the poor kid, there was not a lot of opportunity to nap, and we did not go to bed at his normal time, and we were waking up pretty early, so he was catching cat naps here and there, mostly while we ate. Yeah.
Oh. Well, he seems like he's a pretty flexible kid.
Yeah, we're lucky in that. He doesn't mind. He had the best attitude the whole time. It was like he knew he was in Disney. He was like, "Yeah, I'll close my eyes when you guys eat. I don't want to miss anything."
Oh. You're raising him right.
Yeah.
All right. So this evening you had your tickets for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, and you could get in as early as 4 for your mom who did not have the day ticket.
Right.
What time did you end up actually heading into the party?
We weren't walking in until about 5:00, which I think was good. I had heard that the line can be long to get in. I know it moves fast, but we would we just hung out at the Contemporary for a little bit, and we thought, well, we'll let the crowd die down. And then when we got in at 5, we were able to walk right in.
Mm-hmm.
But then they're kind of funneling you over to the right into that like backstage area.
Mm-hmm.
And it was packed. It was very, very busy. There's kind of a bottleneck of people. You're trying to get your treat bag,
Mm-hmm.
and your map and whatever else you might want to get before you actually enter the park. And that was shoulder to shoulder. So although we didn't wait in line to get in the park, as soon as we got in the park, we were kind of stopped waiting at that point to get our treat bag. But it was
Mm-hmm.
fine. Mother Gothel was there. There's so much to look at. There's the DJ and the giant pumpkin, and you didn't feel like it was a hassle because there's just so much entertainment all around you to be looking at.
And regular day guests have to be out by 6, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
And soon after we got in, there were CMs going around sort of sweeping, saying, like, oh, let me see your wristband. Not only just to get on rides, but just
To be
walking
there.
down the street. Yeah, they wanted
Right.
to see your wristband. So get ready to wave your wrist in the air and show your wristband. The first thing that we did was we hopped on Pirates of the
Mm-hmm.
Caribbean, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
Because we had intended to do it either before or after our Beacon Barrel reservation previously,
Mm-hmm.
but the wait was too long. But it was a walk on as soon as we got in the party, so we hopped and did that. And then we went over to the area by Liberty Tree Tavern. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of coverage over the walkways in between the restaurants and things over there because the sky really looked like it wanted to rain. And so we thought, let's just grab ourselves a seat and kind of plot out what we want to do for the party. And if it rains, then we'll have a spot. And it
Mm-hmm.
did. It ended up raining really, really hard
Mm-hmm.
for like from 6 o'clock almost until 7. And so we were kind of worried about if the parade was going to
Mm.
happen and how it was going to pan out. But it ended up not being that big of a deal. We were totally covered, which was nice. Great people watching people run around in their costumes, trying trying to get undercover. And then as soon as it cleared up, the Powerline Max dance show it happened to be just takes place like right in front of where we were sitting. So that was great. So we just stayed seated. And then the Country Bears were out walking around, and Oakie was a huge fan. He was kind of like not sure about Mickey and Minnie and some of the other characters, but for whatever reason, the Country Bears, he was vibing with them,
Mm-hmm.
waving to them, petting them. So that was really cute to see him warm up to some of them, especially Wendell. They were giving high fives, and the Country Bears, they were kind of hanging around where there was an overhang. I don't know if they're like maybe not allowed to get too wet if
I
it's raining,
mean,
so it's
because
still
of
kind
their
of
fur.
sprinkling. Yeah,
Yeah.
seems like it'd take a
That
while
would
to
take a long
dry.
time to dry. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they were like kind of hanging out like right next to us, which was great.
Mm-hmm.
We just happened to be sitting there, and we got a lot of character interaction. And then we did the treat trail at the Diamond Horseshoe, and
Mm-hmm.
then it was time for the parade. And the Headless Horseman didn't ride, probably because there was puddles in the streets and a
Mm-hmm.
safety concern. But otherwise, the parade was unaffected by the weather.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a great spot there in Frontierland, again, kind of over by where the Country Bears are. So it was our parade spot, I guess, that trip. And then after that, we did It's a Small World. We weren't able to do that on our last trip. And then we did the treat trail in PhilharMagic and the treat trail at Fairy Tale Hall. And then we went over to Cosmic Rays and just got some chicken strips and a party exclusive slushie, the not a poison apple slushie. And
Huh.
that was good. And we
Okay.
just hung out there and watched the fireworks.
Does Oki eat candy?
No.
Okay.
No, we didn't have candy. We had packed him a ton of snacks every day, so he was
Okay.
snacking all day though.
So I hear about people leaving this party and just having bags and bags of
Yes,
candy.
yes,
And I always wonder, like, how are you getting that home? You had
yeah.
the advantage of the auto
Mm-hmm.
train, so you
Mm-hmm.
could have brought as much candy as you wanted. How much
Yeah.
candy did you walk away with?
I weighed it when we got home on our kitchen scale, and it was over 11 pounds of candy. I know.
That is like a
Wild.
year's worth of candy.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
crazy.
So my mom and I, split it. And we're both intending to use that to hand out on Halloween for our trick-or-treaters.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yes. Yeah.
That is I did not even think of that because I don't get trick-or-treaters.
Yeah. So it will go to good use. But yeah, it was really amazing. And we didn't even we we didn't try that hard to get a lot of candy. We did the treat trails knowing that there would be characters in line, like PhilharMagic, there was Donald, Fairy Tale Hall, there were some villains. I feel like we saw some other characters. The Hitchhiking Ghosts in Frontierland were in one of the treat stops. We also did a treat trail in Storybook Circus and Tomorrowland. Oh, one of the treat trails in Tomorrowland is the Monsters Inc. Show. And so the regular show is not playing, but you can go and sit there and there's like a comedy act going on that's interactive. So we just kind of breezed through there, but we did want to check it out and see what it was like. So just casually doing some treat stops towards the end of the night, yeah, we accumulated quite a bit of candy. It was impressive.
Did you watch the stage show at all?
We did not watch the stage show. We did see the fireworks over at our spot at Cosmic Rays, but no, we didn't see is it the Sanderson sisters?
Yes.
Is the stage show? Yeah, no, we did not catch that. What we ended up doing after we did our sweep of the treat trails in Storybook Circus and Tomorrowland is that we were starting to head towards the exit. We wanted to stop in the Emporium. They have a couple of party exclusive merch items, which by the time we got there, they were sold out. I was kind of expecting that, but there wasn't really like a great time earlier in the night to make our way back to Main Street. So that was fine. And it also worked out really well because we got like stuck in the Emporium while the second parade was going by. And so they just held us at the doorway so that people could still walk through the walkway if they needed to. And we didn't have a front row seat to the second parade, but it kind of felt like it because there was a lot of space in between us and the people that were actually on Main Street watching it. And we had a great view from inside the Emporium. So that worked out pretty well. So we watched the parade twice. And then after that, we headed to the bus to get back.
I am just so excited for the day that I finally get to go to Mickey's Not So Scary because it sounds like so much fun. I think the only downside is that it's nearly impossible to do everything within the allotted party time.
Yes. If there was one more hour, I mean, I probably still wouldn't have gotten everything done, but it really feels like one more hour would help kind of give you some breathing room. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. All right. Monday, September 29th, you had an 11 a.m. reservation for Topolino's.
Yes. So that was our checkout day. So I had my alarm set for 8:15, packed up the car in the morning, and then we ended up driving to the Riviera for our Topolino's reservation. Love Topolino's. So great. The character interactions, the character outfits, top tier. The food is great. And then I always order a Pog juice there. And then you can always ask for, when you're leaving, a to-go cup with your Pog juice. And
that has never once occurred to me, Renee.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, just the way, if you ever have a reservation someplace and you get a soft drink, you can always get a soft drink to go. You can do the same thing with the Pog juice. And we walked out onto the terrace and just sort of took it in. The view from up there is gorgeous. We always, we do this every time, but we always point out, oh, there's Everest. There, you just point out all of the things that you can see from up there. It's really amazing. And yeah, sort of took that in, and then we walked around the Riviera a little bit, just every lobby has their own scent and soundtrack. And so we just sort of soaked that in before we had to leave. And got in the car and drove to the train, which is only about 45 minutes from the Disney bubble. So that's not too bad.
Did everything go okay with your train ride home?
Yes, we had, there were 2 little delays on the train. At one point, towards the time when we were going to bed, they said like a sensor of some sort was triggered in the back of the car. So the engineers had to go outside. They had to stop the train. They go outside the train from the front to the back, check on it, come back. But most of the delay was that the train itself was almost a mile long. So for those guys, so for those guys to walk all the way back, check on it, and then walk back to the front, that was like most of the time. And then we got stopped we were like 45 minutes from our destination in Virginia, and we got stopped. There was like a local ordinance to pause rail traffic for some reason. So we got caught up in that, but we ended up arriving in Virginia at about 9:00. And between waiting for the staff to unload everything and getting in the car, we made a stop at Dunkin' Donuts for coffee, and we were like on the highway at 10:30. So it wasn't too bad.
Okay. And did you pay for the priority for getting off the train for this round too?
Yes. And we were like the 7th or 8th car off the train in this direction. So I think it's worth it, especially if
more
you're
money
anxious.
is it to do that?
I think for both directions, it was just under $200. So a little bit under $100 one way.
Renee, we've reached the end of your trip, essentially. What a good one.
Yes. It started off as, we'll just go for a weekend and we'll have 2 days in the parks. And then we added the after hours event, and then we added the Halloween party.
Yes.
And
that's
how it goes,
with
right?
us Disney folks, is we're always finding ways to add on time, add on nights, add on experiences. But it's all worth it.
Yes. It was so much fun. We packed so much in, so many memories, really great time. Loved the train experience. Really happy that we discovered that we really enjoy that.
You alluded to this at the beginning of the episode. When is your next trip?
January.
Oh, wow.
We have 2 nights at Animal Kingdom Lodge, and then we're doing a cruise. And then Oakie and I are going to have a couple days in the parks ourselves.
Fun. Is it a Disney cruise?
It is. Yep. DCL. We're going to be on the Destiny.
Okay. Yep. It is your destiny. Your destiny lies within you.
Yep. You got it.
Love it. Well, that's really exciting. And it truly does help to have something else on the books, because it gives you that thing to look forward to in the future and plan. And how exciting. I love that for you. I don't have anything booked anytime soon, except for like July.
Yes. Well, you're planning your Universal Disney trip.
I am.
Big trip.
I'm sure I'm gonna cram something else in there. It's still very much up in the air at this point. So we will see. Renee, it's been such a pleasure talking to you. I always enjoy having you on, and I know that we're gonna have you on again very soon.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. Always a pleasure to talk about Disney. I love listening to this podcast. It is part of my Disney trip prep now, is to always listen and binge the content that you have from, the time periods that are around when I'm taking my trip. So I listened to all the Halloween party episodes that you had in preparation for this. And it is really so helpful to plot out what your priorities are.
Oh, that makes me very, very happy.
Thank you so much. It's so good to talk to you, Virginia.
You too. Thank you so much to Renee for being such a wonderful guest, as always. Renee will be back in the new year for her next trip, so I know you'll all want to tune in for that, so keep an eye out or an ear out. Thank you all so much for listening, as always, for subscribing, for interacting with me on Instagram and TikTok, for leaving reviews. All of it. I really love hearing from you all, and I hope that you will continue to come back, or even better, to submit a trip to be a Trip Report guest yourself at some point in the future. You can do that through my website, which is whereilongtobepodcast.com. And with that, I will say boo to you, or bye to you. Have a happy Halloween and a magical week, and keep daydreaming about where you long to be.